What is up, guys? It's Flash back with some more charts, another video. It's Tuesday, April 29, about 4:47 p.m. Eastern. Gonna get right to it today, guys. This is Bitcoin strategy update. Got a bunch of tickers to go through. I'm going to continue doing these videos for free for you guys. I hope they're valuable. I hope they kind of give you a different perspective or maybe just some reinforcement. I don't think I'm going to do a membership or a subscription or anything. But I did drop a tip jar in my bio. So if you do feel so inclined, feel free to drop me some sats if you're open to it. Otherwise, no worries. You can just watch the videos. But I'm going to try to do these for free and just do these throughout the cycle and throughout the bear market, throughout the next cycle. I'm going to try to stay on the ball for you guys. So drop me a like if you guys are finding these helpful. Okay, but here we go. We're on Bitcoin. This is on the weekly time frame. A couple people are asking me how I'm getting this rainbow wave indicator. If you go on TradingView and you type in Bitcoin rainbow, I started this one. There's a couple of them, but Leo Math Hart, Leo he's the guy who created this for free. So he's the man, and that's how you get it. So I'm using the 2023 version. There is another one that's updated, but I just like the look and feel of this one. But as you can see, we'll zoom in a little bit onto the daily. We got to get the data here. So I mean, we're still tracking, guys. We're tracking. I'm gonna throw on the global money supply. You guys know this has been a fan favorite all over Twitter, and it's just insane how this is matching up. So this is right now, we are on the 80-day offset for the global M2, and you can see, I mean, it's matching up pretty darn good. So yeah, I would expect this to continue on. I don't know when it's going to top out, but I kind of look at this every day to see if up here if we're still going higher, and so far we are going higher. So I'm going to keep tracking this throughout the summer, but I think it's going to be a Bitcoin summer, a strategy summer. I think good times are ahead of us, guys. So yeah, I'll take this off for now. Another look at the rainbow wave. This is the same indicator. I've taken the bubble phases off. This green line is the same as this green line, right? So this is just on the regular scale. But again, this is hard sound money getting stronger every single day. The network getting stronger every single day. So not financial advice, but this is what I'm doing. I'm going to just keep buying. Buy the top forever, as Michael Saylor says. It's going up forever, Laura. So yeah, I mean, that's just a thing of beauty. But regular viewers, you guys know I do this up every time. So let's go into Bitcoin. This is on the 4-hour. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit to the daily. You guys know I have this chart going. We got these domed consolidations, this channel that we start to form after we exit the domed consolidation. And so this is where we're at today. And so I'm going to zoom in again, the 4-hour time frame. You know, we're in this green channel going to the upside. We're kind of hitting our heads on the top, consolidating, hitting our head on the top, consolidating. And, per that money supply, I do think we're going to continue higher and hopefully break out of the blue channel, right? So we'll keep our eye on the money supply. I can also zoom back out, and I'll add in the sign line, which I've brought up before. But again, this is kind of the heartbeat rhythm of the market. And, we could have a pullback. I don't want to say the money supply is, we're going to follow it to a T. Bitcoin does have a 30-day cycle that it likes to kind of ebb and flow at. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we do kind of have a little bit of a correction, or we just go sideways through, it looks like about Sunday, May 11th is the bottom of the next 30-day cycle. So, again, it's more of a generality. I wouldn't say it's an exact science, but there is a rhythm to price action. So I think we should at least be aware of it, right, and not be surprised. So let's continue on. We're going to look at Bitcoin measured in gold, and I'll zoom in a little bit here. But point that I want to make on this chart is, if we zoom in, again, we're on the weekly time frame, so we kind of corrected and came all the way down to the Ichimoku cloud, right? And we're bouncing off the Ichimoku cloud. The cloud is still green. It turned a little bit red here, but we want to see price action again continue up and to the right, which I think is going to happen. Gold has been on an amazing run. It's been on a tear. This is gold and we'll just enhance to the daily. So gold has made a little bit of a correction, and we're going to see if it can kind of find support in this channel or not. But you see kind of as gold kind of tops out a little bit, that money seems to be flowing into risk assets, for example. And so I'll even go out of line here, but we'll pull up the S&P 500. We'll take off the Ichimoku cloud and we'll put this on the weekly. So even the S&P 500, right, has a I think it's a 40-week cycle that David F. at Tradinghurst on X pointed out. So we have kind of troughed here for the S&P 500, and I think we're going to be charging our way back up and to the right. And so I think that's just a good thing for equities and risk assets in general, right? So I think that'll ultimately be good for Bitcoin. Just something to keep in mind though. And this is another one I wanted to pull up. This is Bitcoin measured in the S&P 500. So this is one I haven't really been sharing all that often because it just kind of looks like the Bitcoin chart, right? It looks like Bitcoin measured in gold even. But you can see man, this is a good looking chart, a good looking ratio, meaning Bitcoin should continue to outperform the S&P 500, as if you didn't need anything else to tell you, hey, you might want to be in Bitcoin over the S&P 500, which generates 7 to 10% per year. I think the CAGR on Bitcoin is closer to 20, 30, 40% per year. Someone comment in the comments if I got that right or wrong, but the CAGR for Bitcoin I think is around 30 to 40%. So that's a pretty good looking chart. I might add that to the repertoire. Now let's look at strategy. So this is strategy on the daily. And again, we got our strategy price targets here highlighted in yellow, and that correlates to a Bitcoin price of 150K, 200K, 250K, right? And this I'm getting from the ballistic acceleration model, right? So again, if you haven't already, check out microstrategist.com. This is an amazing resource for free. Thank you to MicroStrategist. Thank you to Marty Kendall, who's I think the guy, the man, the myth, the legend behind the model, right? So read up on his blog. He's got some great posts. But essentially, again, 150K Bitcoin equals 1.2K MSTR, 200K Bitcoin equals 2.8K MSTR. So I pretty much just took those targets, put them on this chart, and now we'll dive into the 4-hour time frame on strategy. And where do we find ourselves? We broke out of this blue bull flag, which we've been waiting for, and now we're in this green channel. I mean, this channel could be the bridge, again, that takes us to higher prices. So I think as long as we can stay in this channel, become friends with it, we can go above it, maybe a little bit below it, but I think we want to kind of hover right around this line. So this is what I'm looking at on a daily basis. Here's the 2-hour, right? So we'll see. We'll just need more data to see if this is going to progress or not. But so far, so good, guys. I think the train has left the station. My previous video, I think it is game on. And higher for longer, I believe. So yeah, definitely check out the MicroStrategist Ballistic Acceleration Model. Next, let's look at MSTR measured in Bitcoin. And so here we find pretty solid breakout, right? This is what we were looking for, finally. MSTR has gotten above this green horizontal line, right? So I'll put this on a line chart. It's just a little bit easier to see. We'll zoom out to the weekly. Here's kind of the bigger picture that we're looking at, right? MSTR measured in Bitcoin, big kind of rounded bottom, big accumulation pattern, it looks like, right? So when we zoom in, here's the 2-day. I think this is, again, another really solid channel that we just want to keep our eyes on. And so far we've broken out of this green horizontal, right? It's hard to see because of all my drawings, but when we enhance, yeah, so we're in that similar channel, similar look and feel to just the regular MSTR chart, right? But this, again, is what I'm going to be studying for you guys on a daily basis. I'll give you updates when I can. But so far, that looks really good. So we just need to kind of continue up this channel, see if we break out of it and get really aggressive. But I mean, it's hard to ask for more. Now let's look at MSTR measured in gold. Another ratio I think is crucial. So MSTR, a company, a zombie company that has now really deployed and really levered up on their Bitcoin strategy. Makes sense to measure MSTR, not just in US dollars, not just in Bitcoin, but maybe we should also measure it in gold, just so we can also remain confident. So again, we got the breakout we're looking for on MSTR measured in gold. This orange bull flag broke above it. That, I think, is the signal right here. It was a couple days ago. And now it looks like we're just drifting, melting kind of up and to the right. So long way to go here, I think, right? So we can zoom way out onto the 3-day, and long way to go here. So whenever we do top out, if we get a bull phase, a bubble phase in Bitcoin, I'm expecting it to be around late summer, maybe into October, November. I do think MSTR is going to follow up here. I'm not sure we're going to get to the top of this trend line, the gold one, but when that bear market hits, I do expect kind of a similar rounded bottom to take place. Whoops, I meant to copy this. So I do think we'll get, another one of these somewhere along the line. So that's just kind of out into the future, but that's what I'm thinking about these days. Now let's look at MSTY, MSTY. Again, this is not adjusted for dividends, but again, this is kind of the signal that I was thinking MSTY could provide, these breakouts. And so maybe we can make a run up to the top of this channel for MSTY, and maybe that could be the next local top for MSTR. That's something I'm kind of contemplating as well. So now we'll go to MSTU. So this is another one I've been tracking. This is the levered ETF. Yes, there's MSTX. I really do consider them kind of the same thing. But I overlaid the moving average that I made. So the smoothed global M2 money supply days offset, I set to 55. And just to kind of see what this looks like, not only on MSTR, but also on MSTU, because I do have a little bit invested in MSTU, so I am curious to see how that's going to be tracking against MSTR. So the price targets, are pretty interesting for MSTU. But yeah, just a speculative play. I think, not financial advice, but I would definitely hold shares over the levered ETF. Maybe in these, run-up phases, you could mix in some of the levered ETF. But that's for you to decide, not for me to decide. And then last but not least, this is MSTR measured in Tesla. So as you can see, big downtrend here when MSTR wasn't deploying their Bitcoin strategy. But since, I think it was January of 2024, yeah, we broke out of that downtrend, MSTR did. And now we're kind of just drifting up and to the right? So I don't necessarily think I can do much technical analysis on this. I don't think that would be a rising wedge per se. I think it's just an interesting ratio to look at, right? So we can even throw on the Ichimoku cloud. We're above that on the 3-day. We could throw up the ribbon, the moving average ribbon. So this is even more kind of fuel to the fire, right? MSTR is above these moving averages, and all the moving averages are going up and to the right against Tesla. So I would say, MSTR right now looks way better than Tesla. That's probably where you want your money allocated to if you had to decide between two. But you don't necessarily have to decide. Could just be in one or the other. But yeah, moral of the story, guys, I'm going to keep doing this for as long as I can. Bitcoin power law is in full force. And I'll keep tracking for you guys. Drop me a like if you found it helpful. Again, the tip chart is available. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.